Okay, friends, we're on lesson 47. My ruler is buried in papers. Okay, first direction says measure this line segment using inches. So we go to the inches side of our ruler. Line the first measuring mark up with the dot. And now you'll remember we talked about 16ths yesterday. So we have 2 whole inches here. And then we have 2 1/2, 2 3/4, but this is even longer. So there's 16 parts in 1 whole inch. So if we back up one little piece, it's 15/16. If we back up another little piece, it's 14/16. And this looks like it's at about 2 14/16. The next one says measure this line segment using millimeters. Now that's on the centimeter side of our ruler. Millimeters are the smallest marks on the centimeter side. And we don't use fractions for those. So there's 10 millimeters in every centimeter. And so this is 80 millimeters, 8 centimeters. This is 85 millimeters, and that looks like about where our dot is. Write a story problem for the number set in 6 plus 4. So let's do a kitten. Oh, wait a minute. Are we doing plus 4? I thought it was take away 4. Let's do, we had 6 hamburgers on the grill, and my brother added 4 more. So we have 6, we add 4 more, and then we finish with a question like, how many hamburgers were there for supper? Or how many hamburgers were there in all? So we had 6 hamburgers on the grill, and my brother added 4 more. I don't know about you, but they never leave enough room for me. Okay, so then we have to end it with a question because we're writing a story problem. So we could ask, how many were there in all? How many were there all together? How many are there now? How many burgers are there? Now. Okay, and we know that 6 plus 4 equals 10. Draw each reflection across the line of symmetry. So, when you do this, start at one of the points that's on the line and just try to make a reflection that looks like this side, except like it's in a mirror. So now I can see that this line starts about this high up, so I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to end about here. Okay, make an arc. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh, this one's a little hard. So I'm going to go down here and make this go out, and then in, and then I'm going to go up and meet this line. Okay, so practice that. It's tricky to do, but you'll get the hang of it. Now for this one, I'm going to turn it sideways because that's a little easier for me to think. And then I'm going to make it go about down here in a straight line. And then I'm going to make it go about in here. So I'm measuring how far this is away from the center line. And I'm going about that far away here. And then this is about that far from the edge. So I'm going to go about here. make that a little more curvy. You can always erase and go back. And then it's going to come back in to be about this far from the line over here. And then it's going to meet up on top over here. Whoops, not great. Okay, so that's how you do a line of symmetry. It's tricky at first. Once you practice a little bit, it'll get a little bit easier. What you want it to be is the same on both sides except opposite, like flipped over. Okay, Joshua made a circle graph to show the favorite type of donut of 16 children in the class. So we know there's 16 children on this graph. How many children chose chocolate, chose glaze, chose jelly, and then what's the fraction that chose chocolate? So let's figure this out first. If we know the whole circle is equal to 16, then we know half is how much? What's half of 16? Half of 16 is 8. Now I can see the next easy one will be to figure out this one, because I can see that this is half of this. So this is a fourth of 16, or it's a half of 8 if I cut 8 in half, if I cut this shape in half right here. So half of 8 is 4. Now if I look down here, it's easier to start with the biggest pieces and move to the littler pieces. Now I can see down here that this piece right here is the same size as this piece right here. Okay, so when I add both of these up, they're going to equal 4 because it's the same size as this piece. And from the looks of it, 4 is cut directly in half. So if I cut 4 in half, I get 2 over here and I get 2 here. Okay, so those are the numbers we need to have. Now we can answer these questions. How many children chose chocolate? 8 chose chocolate. How many children chose glazed? 4 chose glazed. How many chose jelly? 2 chose jelly. And then what fractional part is this? What fractional part chose chocolate? Well, if you look at it, you can see that this is a circle cut in half, isn't it? This is half of the circle. So 1/2 chose chocolate. There are 9 children at Vivek's party. Vivek has enough cookies for each child to have a half dozen. So a half dozen is half of 12. Half dozen is 6, right? Circle the best estimate of the number of cookies he has. So, oh, okay, I missed something. There are 9 children at the party, right? And he has enough for each one of those 9 to have 6. So we have 9 groups of 6, or 9 times 6. So what is 9 times 6? 9 times 6, well, if we use our nines trick, we put our hands out and we start at this side and we count to the 6th finger. That's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we put 6th finger down, we have 5 on this side of the 6th finger, and we have 4 on this side. 5, 4. So 9 times 6 is 54. So what category does this fit in? Fewer than 50, between 50 and 70, or more than 70? A good estimate is probably between 50 and 70 because we thought it might be about 54. Circle the number that shows the value of 3 in here. So we're wondering about the 3. Well, what spot is that in? This is the ones, tens, hundreds. That's why when we look at just this, it says 364. 3 is in the hundreds place, and then this is thousands. So this is worth 300. Now, if you need a reminder when you get to your side, don't forget in here, there's a page that has place values on 12. Right there. And you can see there's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and it goes up. We haven't gotten into the decimal points yet, so just start at the ones, start at that decimal point, and work on this side. Okay, ones, tens, the 3 was in the hundreds place. We could also write what they had here, 5,364. We could write that in 5,364. We could have written the number up here and seen that the 3 was in the hundreds place. Okay, so use that if you need to. What is the place value of the digit 5? Well, we just looked at it. What was it? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. That's why when we read this number, it's 5,364. So the place value, they're not wondering what the value of the 5 is. They're wondering about the place value. So the place value is thousands. Find each sum or product. So pay attention. Some of them are going to be adding. Some of them are going to be multiplying. You can certainly use scratch paper if you'd like, or you can work on the side of the paper. That's fine with me too. 53 plus 37. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. 90. 51 times 6. Now, when we do this, first we multiply this times this, then this times this. And if you need to get a hundreds chart out for this stuff or a multiplication chart out for this stuff, feel free to do that. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 306. Next one, 3 times 3 times 3. Well, first we have to do 2 of them. 3 times 3 is 9. Then we can multiply 9 times the third one. So it doesn't matter what order you do them in with multiplication, kind of like addition. You can add them up in any order you want and you'll still get the same number. So let's do the 9s trick again. This time we're going to put down the third finger. 1, 2, 3, 2, and 7. 2, 7. 27. Okay. Next, 321 plus 493. 3 plus 1 is 4. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1 up. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 1 more is 8. 814. Another multiplication, 85 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40, so we put the 0 down and the 4 up. Now don't forget, we're going to multiply these and then add that one. 8 times 8 is 64. Like I said, we're getting into some trickier multiplication. Take your times table out. It is in your journal on page 21. You also have a count by sheet in there that you can use on page 23. 8 times 8 is 64, and 4 more is 68. Nope, that's not right. Oh, 680. 680. One more thing. If you do a lot of scratch work on a piece of paper like this, I want you to take a picture of this. If you do it on the edges of your paper, that's fine too. Then you don't have to take a separate. But if you just have an answer written down and there's no work anywhere, it's hard for me to give you the points for that answer because it's pretty clear that you used a calculator. So if you do the scratch work on paper and take a picture of it when you're done. It's 9 times 8 times 3. So let's do 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Then we're going to do 24 times 9. Okay, so we're going to do our 9s trick a couple times here. 9 times 4, we're going to put the 4th finger down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 and 6. 6 down, 3 up, 36. Then 9 times 2, put the 2nd finger down. We have a 1 and we have 8. 18. 18, 19, 20, 21, because remember we add this. 216. And the last one is just an addition problem. So 6 plus 1 plus 3 is 7 plus 3 is 10. 0 down, 1 up. 8 plus 2 is 10, and 1 more is 11, and 1 more is 12. 1 goes up, decimal point. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 4 is 21. 5 plus 4 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And 6 plus 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. The comma went 1, 2, 3, comma. I could tell it was there because the commas are also lined up here, just like the decimal point. They are important. Make sure you get them in your answer. And it looks like that was a money problem, so we need a $sign. Okay, that's the whole thing. If there's any tricky part, go back and watch one more time or email me if you need any help. Have a good afternoon.